Coming up on today's show, we're going to go over the top replacements for Malcolm Brogdon as he decided to hang it up and retire from the National Basketball Association. Before we do that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because if the Knicks do make a move, we're going to get you guys a video as soon as possible. They have to make a decision on Landry Shamet and Garrison Matthews by Saturday. So there will be a video for that. Subscribe and don't miss it. You are watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as Malcolm Brogdon has decided to retire, leaving the New York Knicks a little bit thin off the bench and specifically at that point guard spot. So I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at all the free agents that are out there as more free agents will become available with teams cutting their roster down. But players the New York Knicks could look to sign to fill the void that Brogdon left because this New York Knicks team, they are thin at backup point guard. I really like Miles McBride. I like him off the ball, though, a little bit more. I really like Tyler Kolek as someone who could be an NBA player down the road. I don't know if he's ready to be a every single night type of player. Jordan Clarkson is more of a scorer and looks for his own shot, and I don't know if I want him being essentially the secondary ball handler for this Knicks team, and I could probably say confidently that Mike Brown doesn't want that either. I'm a little worried, if you can't tell, about the point guard depth for the New York Knicks. You are a Jalen Brunson sprained ankle where he's got to miss 2 weeks. You're in a bad spot. You're Jalen Brunson ankle injury away from being in point guard hell, a spot that this organization has been in for far too long prior to Jalen Brunson signing with this team. So, 5 guys that they can look to target. One was just recently released by the Charlotte Hornets, and that is Spencer Dinwiddie, a name that was actually linked to the New York Knicks back in the offseason, and a name that I know a lot of Knicks fans probably don't want to hear. And my first reaction when I saw he was released by Charlotte was, I'm sure the Knicks will call. And even though I think it could make some sense and it could even be a good idea, I'm not the biggest fan of Spencer Dinwiddie. He is a Knicks hater. He has been very vocal about how he doesn't like the Knicks and their fans and the organization. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Dinwiddie at 32 years old, I believe still there is some tread left on the tires, and he was actually pretty decent last year for the Dallas Mavericks. Ended up playing in 79 games. I mean, the guy doesn't miss time. Really, he's played in more than 67 games in each of the last 4 seasons and more than 76 games for 3 years in a row. He can handle the rock. He can score the rock. He can set the table. He can be someone that likes to play fast out in the open court. And when you're talking about a backup point guard, it could make some sense. And I don't hate the idea of bringing in the 6'5" Spencer Dinwiddie to the Knicks after he was waived by the Charlotte Hornets on Thursday. So think could make some sense. I would not be shocked if the New York Knicks make a call and maybe they make a move and sign Dinwiddie. If they do want to sign Dinwiddie, they would probably still have to make another trade as they do still have only one veteran minimum spot. And it sounds like that is going to either go to Landry Shamet or Garrison Matthews. So for all the people that thought the trade talk was done, it's not. Buckle up. All righty, some more Malcolm Brogdon replacements. What about Victor Oladipo? This is someone that has kind of fallen out of the NBA due to injuries. Player that I was a really big fan of coming out of college. A lot of fun to play with on 2K. Shout out to him, 2K legend back in the day. But he is making noise yet again. He is dominating teams in the preseason as he is playing for the, I'm not going to try to say it, the Lions, who are obviously not an NBA team overseas. And he's played against 2 NBA teams in the preseason. He lit it up with 24 points on 8 of 12 from the field against the LA Clippers. And before that, he lit up the San Antonio Spurs, where he had 20 points and 5 steals against San Antonio, and then after that, he lit up the Clippers. So 2 really good showings against NBA teams. And I went back and I watched the highlights, and I watched the film, and he looked really good. Not nearly as explosive as he once was. I don't know if he's the defensive stopper he once was, but he can handle the ball, he can get to the lane, he can create his own shot. and he still has scoring ability. And Oladipo spoke. It doesn't sound like he is looking to stay overseas. Sounds like he wants to get back to the NBA, saying, I don't believe in age, bro. I know the world might tell me I'm 33, but I don't feel 33. If we was in a practice gym or in the back of a dump truck, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a rectangle and people there competing, I'm going to play at the highest level I can. The NBA is where I'm supposed to be. And if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to be ready. I've been ready, if I'm being honest. Love that. Love that Oladipo has a chip on his shoulder, and I don't hate the idea of the New York Knicks going out and signing the former NBA player. Makes some sense. And if you go back to the spring of last year, there were rumors that started to heat up about the Knicks potentially looking to sign Victor Oladipo in the middle of last year. Betting odds came out that the Knicks were actually the betting favorite to go out and sign Oladipo. So how much is there? I don't know, but I wouldn't mind the idea of Oladipo being a Knick and kind of being that primary ball handler, and I think he could play alongside Jalen Brunson, and that's ideally what I want at the point guard spot. 3 more names to talk about. Before we do, though, I want you to get in the comment section and sound off for me. If you could have Spencer Dinwiddie or Victor Oladipo, which one of these NBA veterans would you want to be a New York Knick? Sound off for me. Let's go with a guy that was once an extremely high draft pick. What about Markelle Fultz? 27 years old. I actually didn't know this when I was scripting today's show. He was on the Sacramento Kings last year, and I probably should have looked it up, and I will right now if he was there the whole time, because that would mean as he played his first game, I might just be grasping at straws here. Yeah, he joined the Kings after Mike Brown was there. So that connection is actually doomed. But play with the Kings, and I'm sure if Mike Brown wanted to see if he would be a good fit in the locker room, he could call people in Sacramento and check that out. I think Mike Brown was fired around Christmas. Fultz didn't join the Kings until February 13th, it looks like. But a player that was once extremely highly rated coming out of college, and the shoulder injuries and the shooting form and all the other stuff kind of fell by the wayside. This is someone, though, that can handle the ball, can run in transition. He's kind of grown as a defender in this league. The ability to just shoot the basketball never really transferred for him in his NBA career. But if you're looking for a guy that can handle the rock, push the pace, and be someone that you can rely upon when Jalen Brunson needs to sit down and rest or potentially has to miss time for an injury, which we are all hoping does not happen, Markelle Fultz could maybe slide into that role. So not necessarily advocating for it, just listing guys that could be potential targets. And if the New York Knicks do go out and sign him, I don't think it is the worst idea. What about another NBA veteran, Cory Joseph, at the age of 34? He has been in the NBA for quite some time. And if you're looking for a steady veteran that you can trust and rely upon, I think Cory Joseph fits that bill. Last year, he played a little bit, and he wasn't all that bad. And right now, the New York Knicks are just looking for somebody that can set the table, run the offense. And I don't really hate the idea and actually like the idea of adding a veteran like Cory Joseph. Played 50 games last year, averaged 3.5 points per game, 1.4 assists, 40.3, 40% from the field, 36.4 from downtown. He could shoot it. He could dish it. A little bit undersized, so not that elite of a defender, but let's be honest here. It's October 16th. There's not going to be that many great options out there. There might be some better options that appear once teams cut their roster down from training camp to preseason, but these are the guys that are out there right now. One more name to talk about, but want to let you guys know this Knicks quarter zip, it was $65. Now it is $37. Chatsports.com/KnicksQZip. Chatsports.com/KnicksQZip. Get your Knicks quarter zip today. All right, once a Knick, always a Knick, and maybe a Knick again. Alec Burks, still just 34 years old, and I believe that he actually might be one of the better free agents still available. Played pretty well last year in the NBA, and he could still score it and he could still shoot it. He is a professional scorer. Now, is he a point guard? I mean, that's a different conversation, and my quick answer is no. I don't necessarily think he is a point guard, but I don't mind the idea of him, Miles McBride, and Jordan Clarkson kind of three-manning that backup point guard responsibility. We know who Alec Burks is. I don't have to tell you what Alec Burks' game is. He can get hot. He can carry you some nights offensively. I think, what was it, Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers 2 years ago in the playoffs? I mean, he carried the Knicks in that game. Unfortunately, he couldn't carry them all the way home. If the Knicks want to sign Alec Burks and AB wants to be a Knick again, I'd be cool with it. Good vibes. And that's something that I think would be fun. I think Knicks fans would get a laugh out of that one. Who knows if it does happen. I think a move should happen, though. I'm not confident that the Knicks have what it takes at the backup guard spot. Again, I like Miles McBride a lot. I think he's due for a breakout, but I view him as a two-guard. I view him as a wing trapped in a point guard's body. Jordan Clarkson is a bucket getter. He looks for his own shot. And Tyler Kolek, I don't know if he's ready to be an every single night NBA player. Give me a name of player you want the New York Knicks to sign down in the comments section, and make sure you are following me on social media at @MarshallGreen_.